This is episode 204 of Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Dale Wills. Dale is a longtime real estate developer, the owner and founder of Centra Capital Partners. Centra Capital Partners, together with its affiliates, build entire single-family home communities from tip to tail, partnering with accredited investors, people like us, on lucrative real estate development projects. Dale, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
Yeah, as I was saying in the pre-call, I love hearing somebody who's been in the business over 30 years, and we were just talking about real estate pre-internet. What's your first memory in the old days of being interested in real estate?
Being interested in it itself,
Yeah.
That would put me at about 18 years old when I was working construction for a period of time, working for a framing crew, and I loved the craft of creating something.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily love pounding nails.
Yeah, that I understand fully, and I would never do the framing. But yeah, was it something visceral about the construction of houses and what it could be? Or was it just kind of like, hey, this is going to be something that's going to turn into something else?
I always knew I loved it. And just recently, in the last few years, I've actually been able to put it in words. And it's that we make a difference in real estate. If you think about, hopefully they're positive, but your most formidable memories were related to real estate. Whether it was sitting on the living room floor watching movies,
Yeah.
family, or learning to ride a bike in the road, or going to the ice cream shop down the road. And I think that's what I really love about real estate is we make those memories possible.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. We make a difference. We have something we can look back and say, I had something to do with that. And I love that aspect.
Yeah, and that's pretty specific to what your focus is on, which is single family development as opposed to multifamily.
Yeah, we do have some apartments. We do develop some apartments and have done some rehab. Our primary is single family.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they both provide housing. And of course, in the affordable housing crisis that we're in America, all of them are good. But there's something specific, obviously, that you guys like about developing single family. What is it about that product that really works for what you do?
Well, I mean, part of it that we love right now in today's climate, especially, is there's such a need for housing. Right
Mm.
now, we're not actively doing any multifamily. We do multifamily as a company. We're not actively doing any. They're just hard to pencil in today's climate. The time of this recording, the way where their interest rates are, where they were historically, where most apartments are positioned. I've got apartment complexes at 2.5 interest rate. Well, it's hard for me to build one and compete at 7%.
Right.
But there's still a massive need for housing nationwide and especially affordable product. So with the interest rates going up, inflation has gone up crazy for the last 3 years. It's really made it difficult for people to get in. So a lot of our focus has been on tooling the company to where we can build really affordable houses that somebody can be proud of, they can be excited about, that I'm willing to point my finger over there and say, yes, I did that.
Yeah.
And get them in at a price that they can afford. That's where a lot of our energy is right now.
I think that's a really important, yeah, it's an important point. I mean, I think that people use that wait and see as their own procrastination mechanism, but guess what? Procrastination costs you money. It does.
Yeah.
It always does because you're not being active in whatever you're interested in. It doesn't mean that you have to buy, but if you're not actively looking, you may not be able to find the deal when all of your friends are out of the market. So to me, that tells me it's a great time to stay in the market because a lot of people are scared. I'd like to have less competition.
Yeah. I'm seeing that all the time. There's some people that want to get in real estate that I've been talking to. I say, the opportunity is go after foreclosures right now because there's not that many people doing it because everybody's sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what's going to happen. So you don't have that much competition. So if you want to get into real estate now and you got to figure out where to start, go find those foreclosures because, historically can be a very competitive market because it's an easy way to get in and I'm not seeing everybody there. So if
Yeah.
you're new, it's a great place to start. Go make a ton of money doing it.
If you want to be a good real estate investor, you have to buy right because you can't fix much if you buy it wrong. all it makes you do is be cheaper, lose more money, and then create an inferior product when you buy too high, right? I'm sure that's happened. You know, in my investments, I've definitely done that when I was younger. Has that happened to you when you were just starting out, where you're like, "Oops, that one, it went a little too high on that one. How am I going to fix it?" And then you realize I can't fix it in any good way.
Y- You know, you pretty frequently, if you're in the business long enough, you're going to have deals, no matter how much your experience is, that you're going to be like, well, that didn't turn out the way I for.
Yeah.
And so, we deal with that. One of the exercises we go through as a company when we're looking at buying an asset, we I'll just randomly say, all right, Jonathan, I want you to argue in favor of this, and I'm going to argue against it. And then midway, I'll just switch and say, now you need to argue against it. If you can't articulate a really good reason to buy it, obviously you wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
More importantly, is if you can't articulate the reasons we shouldn't buy it, then you shouldn't buy it either.
Yeah.
Because there's always risk to every deal you do. There's always a potential downside. There's always something you're giving up to do a deal. And if you don't see all of that, you better walk from the deal. And so we'll go through that exercise. And then when we're done, we say, okay, we know the upside, but can I live with the downside? And if the answer is no, you don't.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, and I think you want somebody there to point out the holes in it so you can evaluate them, like you said, and say, yeah, that is a negative, but it's overridden by all these positives, instead of just saying like, hey, great column of pros, but no cons. This is a no-brainer. That just means someone's not trying that hard.
Yeah, you're not seeing something because there's a risk to every deal. Now,
Yeah.
granted, once we have that list, how can we mitigate some of these risks? But you're having risks. I don't care what the deal is. There's risk to it.
What I always look at, from the sale aspect of it, you're creating reliable, comparable sales for everything in the development. So do you guys build in stages? Like you build maybe 20 and then you're going to do 20 more so you can get 20 up, either available, sold, rented first, and then start on a second where you have built in the comps? Or are you doing like all of them kind of in one go?
So there's two parts. If we're building rentals, we will finish as many homes as we can rent in a month. So
Yeah. Oh, okay.
it's new in a month. We will finish 6 a month.
Right.
The advantage of building houses on rentals versus when we build apartments, I got to have all 100 units built and finished at once.
Yeah.
If I can rent 6 units a month, it's going to take me a year to fill this apartment complex.
Right.
Whereas houses, for cash flow, well, I'm going to finish whatever I can rent every month. We think we can rent 6 a month. I'm going to finish 6 a month.
Yeah.
For sales, we do the same thing. So if I think I can sell 4 houses a month in this project, right now it takes us 90 days, a little over 90 days to build a house.
Yeah.
Everything we build's on speculation. So if I can sell 4 in a month, I'm going to have 12 under construction and I'm delivering 4 finished a month.